How to fix PUBG 100% CPU usage and low FPS. Welcome back to TechnoBalta. Today, we delve into a pervasive and frustrating issue plaguing many PUBG players: persistent 100% CPU usage coupled with debilitating low frame rates. This problem often transforms the battlegrounds into a stuttering slideshow, making competitive play nearly impossible and diminishing the overall gaming experience. We'll explore the underlying causes, from potential hardware bottlenecks like the Ryzen 5 3350G APU, often struggling with modern titles, to intricate software conflicts and misconfigurations that silently hog your precious processing power. Our comprehensive guide provides a structured approach, offering deep technical solutions to diagnose and mitigate these performance impediments, ensuring you can return to smooth, high FPS gameplay. Diagnose CPU bottleneck accurately. Begin by monitoring your system's resource utilization using tools like MSI Afterburner with RivaTuner Statistics Server or HWMonitor while PUBG is running. Observe CPU and GPU usage percentages. If your CPU consistently hits 90 to 100% while your GPU remains significantly lower, e.g., 50 to 70%, it strongly indicates a CPU bottleneck where the processor cannot supply data to the GPU fast enough. This analysis is critical for confirming the core issue before implementing solutions. Terminate redundant background processes. Access Task Manager via Control+Shift+Escape and navigate to the Processes tab to identify resource-intensive applications running in the background. Prioritize closing non-essential programs such as web browsers, streaming services, communication apps like Discord, or cloud storage clients that consume significant CPU cycles or memory. Minimizing background load frees up vital processing power directly for PUBG. Update graphics drivers to the latest version. Outdated or corrupted GPU drivers are a frequent culprit for performance issues, including high CPU usage when the GPU isn't optimized to handle rendering tasks efficiently. Visit NVIDIA's or AMD's official website to download and perform a clean installation of the newest drivers available for your GeForce GTX 1650 Super. This ensures optimal communication between your GPU and the game, offloading rendering appropriately. Verify PUBG game file integrity. Corrupted or missing game files can lead to erratic behavior, including resource spikes as the game struggles to load assets correctly. Open Steam. Right-click on PUBG, select Properties, navigate to Local Files, and click Verify integrity of game files. Steam will automatically scan and reacquire any damaged or missing data, often resolving performance anomalies without further intervention. Optimize in-game graphics settings. While counterintuitive for a CPU bottleneck, consider increasing certain GPU-intensive settings like texture quality or anti-aliasing to shift more workload from the CPU to the GPU. Simultaneously, reduce CPU-bound settings such as view distance, foliage, shadows, and effects to their lowest possible values. Experimentation is key to finding the optimal balance that reduces CPU overhead and stabilizes frame rates. Experiment with DirectX versions in PUBG. PUBG offers different rendering APIs, including DirectX 11, DirectX 11 Enhanced, and DirectX 12. While DirectX 12 generally promises better multi-core CPU utilization, older or less powerful CPUs might perform better with DirectX 11 Enhanced due to specific optimizations or overhead differences. Test each option within the game settings to determine which API yields the most stable frame rates and lower CPU usage for your specific hardware configuration. Configure Windows Power Plan for high performance. By default, Windows often uses balanced power plans that prioritize energy efficiency over maximum performance, potentially throttling your CPU. Open Control Panel, navigate to Power Options, and select the High Performance Power Plan. This ensures your CPU operates at its maximum clock speeds, preventing artificial limitations that could exacerbate CPU bottlenecking. Activate Windows Game Mode. Windows Game Mode aims to optimize system resources for gaming by prioritizing game processes and suspending background activities. Ensure Game Mode is enabled by going to Settings, Gaming, Game Mode, and toggling it to On. While its impact can vary for some systems, it provides a noticeable improvement in game stability and resource allocation. Disable full-screen optimizations. Full-screen optimizations, intended to improve performance for UWP apps, can sometimes introduce input lag or performance issues for traditional desktop games like PUBG. Locate the PUBG executable file, tslgame.exe, right-click, select Properties, go to the Compatibility tab and check Disable Full-Screen Optimizations. This forces the game into a true exclusive full-screen mode, which can sometimes resolve stuttering. Set PUBG process priority to high. Elevating PUBG's process priority can instruct Windows to allocate more CPU resources to the game over other applications. Open Task Manager. Navigate to the Details tab, find tslgame.exe, right-click, choose Set Priority, and select High. Exercise caution, as setting it to real-time can destabilize your system. Clear graphics driver shader cache. Corrupted or excessively large shader caches can lead to stutters and increased CPU load as the system struggles to process shader data. For NVIDIA cards, you can clear the shader cache through the NVIDIA control panel under Manage 3D Settings, Shader Cache Size. AMD users can find a similar option in the Adrenalin software. Regularly clearing this cache can improve rendering efficiency. Optimize NVIDIA Control Panel/AMD Adrenalin settings. Within your GPU control panel, ensure optimal settings are applied. For NVIDIA, consider setting Power Management Mode to prefer maximum performance and texture filtering quality to high performance. AMD users should explore similar options in Adrenalin, potentially disabling features like Radeon anti-lag or image sharpening if they introduce instability, focusing on raw performance. Monitor and manage system temperatures. Excessive CPU or GPU temperatures can lead to thermal throttling, where components reduce their clock speeds to prevent damage, directly resulting in performance drops and stuttering. Use monitoring software like HWMonitor or Core Temp to check temperatures during gameplay. Ensure proper case airflow, clean dust from coolers, and consider reapplying thermal paste if temperatures remain high. Adjust virtual memory, page file, size. Windows uses virtual memory, page file, to compensate for insufficient RAM, offloading data to your storage drive. An inadequate page file can lead to excessive CPU usage as the system struggles to manage memory. Navigate to System Properties, Advanced tab, Performance Settings, Advanced tab, Virtual Memory Change, and set a custom size, e.g., 1.5x your RAM for initial size, 3x for maximum. Verify BIOS/UEFI settings for RAM, XMP/DCP. Ensure your RAM is running at its advertised speeds by enabling XMP Extreme Memory Profile for Intel or DOSP. Direct Overclock Profile for AMD in your motherboard's BIOS/UEFI settings. Incorrect RAM speeds can significantly bottleneck even a capable CPU, impacting overall system performance and increasing CPU load during memory-intensive tasks. APU-specific VRAM allocation. Ryzen 5 3350G. Given the Ryzen 5 3350G is an APU, ensure that the dedicated GPU, GTX 1650 Super, is actively being used by PUBG and not the integrated graphics. Furthermore, check BIOS settings for frame buffer size or shared memory if you encounter situations where integrated graphics are impacting the discrete card's performance. Ensuring minimum VRAM is reserved for the APU when not in use. Consider a CPU upgrade for long-term resolution, the most definitive solution for a severe CPU bottleneck, as identified by the forum community, is a processor upgrade. Given your Ryzen 5 3350G, moving to a modern Ryzen 5 series like the 5600 or 5600X offers significantly higher core counts, clock speeds, and cache sizes, drastically improving multi-threaded performance and mitigating 100% CPU usage in demanding titles like PUBG. This is often the ultimate fix for persistent issues. Perform a clean reinstallation of PUBG. If all software-based optimizations fail, a complete reinstallation of PUBG might be necessary. This ensures all game files are pristine and any obscure configuration issues are reset. Uninstall the game via Steam. Manually delete any remaining PUBG folders and then re-download and install. Perform a clean Windows installation. As a final, drastic measure, if system-wide instability or persistent performance issues persist across multiple applications, a clean installation of Windows can resolve deep-seated software conflicts, corrupted operating system files, or driver remnants. Back up all essential data before proceeding, as this will wipe your primary drive. Don't forget to follow Technobalta for more.